My name is Chris Tiffany, and I toured with Montana Shakespeare in the Parks during the last decade of the 20th century. A strange and distant time when the TV show Friends, stonewashed jeans, and a band called Nirvana were all the rage. But even though it's been more than 20 years now, and much to the consternation of my friends and family, I continue to endlessly tell stories about my time touring with Montana Shakespeare in the Parks, and will likely do so until my parting breath. But on that note, our postcard today is from Boulder, Montana. Now, Boulder was always one of my favorite places to tour, in part because of the wonderful people there, the great downtown, and the terrific performance space we have at, I believe it's Veterans Memorial Park. But what really attracted me to Boulder were the radon health mines. Now, Boulder is located about halfway between Butte and Helena, and is the county seat of Jefferson County. It was originally established as a stagecoach stop in the late 19th century, and eventually some gold mines and uranium mines were established in the area. There's a nearby hot springs. There was a state hospital there for many years. And Boulder basically became the commercial center for a lot of agricultural towns in the area, including the nearby ghost town of Elkhorn, which, by the way, is Montana's smallest state park. But whenever we went to Boulder, I was always fascinated by the radon health mines. And it's not something you will find anywhere else in Montana, or essentially anywhere. These are former gold mines, former uranium mines, with names like Free Enterprise, the Sunshine Health Mine, Earth Angel, or the Merry Widow, where people literally go down into the mine to breathe the slightly radioactive air in the belief that it will relieve their chronic pain for things like rheumatoid arthritis. I always was curious about going down into the mines myself, but unfortunately I never had time, and let's be honest, I never had the courage to. But it's one of those things that I think is really special about these little towns throughout Montana. They all have their own identity and their own thing that you're not going to find anywhere else. And without having toured with Montana Shakespeare in the Parks, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn about the radon health mines or any of the other terrific, quirky, amazing things about all these towns throughout Montana. So the final year that I toured, we performed Love's Labor's Lost, which I think it was the first year that Montana Shakespeare in the Parks had done that show. It was directed by Mr. William Brown, and I played Ferdinand, the King of Navarre. And during the show, there's a kind of a show within a show, and I was looking through photographs and things to see what I could find for this video, and I happened to find this prop program, which I was given every night, and it reminded me how my fellow castmates liked to torment me with pictures of penguins. I don't like penguins. Another thing I found was a little tour journal that I apparently had kept that year, where I just wrote down some very basic information about each of our touring stops. For example, for Boulder, it was day 26 of the tour. We had driven from Gardner to Boulder, which is quite a drive, actually. We did Love's Labor's Lost. We did it outside. The weather was warm, clear, and windy. And apparently that night we stayed at the War Bonnet Inn in Butte. One of the other things that I found in this journal was this love and hate list, which I am assuming we compiled over the course of the summer for some reason. But I thought I'd read you a few things that we loved and a few things that we hated. I'll start with what we hated. We hated mosquitoes, which makes sense. We hated hot costumes, also makes sense. We hated stuffing programs. We hated KFC. We ate a lot of KFC that summer. For some reason, we hated skateboarders. Not sure why. What else did we hate? We hated the terrible drinking water and a messy van. Somebody didn't like the messy van. And this is sort of a sad one. Someone hated letters from old girlfriends. It's kind of sad. A few things that we loved that summer. We loved the costume bags. Apparently this was a new thing that year. We loved the people of Wolf Point. We loved visits from Joel Janke. We loved John Denver. We loved Fat Tire Beer. We loved Payday. Of course, that makes sense. Here's one that's a little PG-13. I think I'll skip that one. We loved having 2 days in Bernie, which we didn't always used to. We loved camping on the butte in Bernie, and I think that was the first time that anyone had camped out on the butte. And I think we started a little tradition that year. And we loved the Bernie hoedown. I think Bernie threw us a hoedown that year, which was kind of fun. And we loved cell phones, which must have been a novelty back in 1997. So a little tour, a taste of our tour from 1997 in this year where there is no touring happening. In Love's Labour's Lost, in the opening monologue, King Ferdinand talks about his master plan that the play is sort of centered around, where he is planning to essentially lock himself and 3 of his fellow courtiers away for a matter of 3 years, lock themselves away from society so they can study and contemplate and better themselves. Sort of a fool's errand, but it made me think of what a lot of us are going through right now, where we're all kind of locked away from society in many ways, where we're not able to be on tour or see a show or spend time with others. And his monologue, I think, I'm going to do just a little piece of it that I think can give us a little bit of a hopeful twist to the year that we're having. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are, that war against your own affections and the huge army of the world's desires. Our late edict shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world. Our court shall be a little academe, still and contemplative in living art.